Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And I'm Envy Jitters.
We're back once again this week with more underrated gems of anime, and this week it was Gav's decision on what we'd be watching. Gav, what did you decide we watched?
Kiznaiver.
Kiznaiver, and what does that mean?
Good question. It's based on the Japanese words for like scar and connection.
Okay.
Isn't it like Kizuna, which is like bond, or link?
Yep.
So it's
So in other words, it
portmanteau.
roughly translates to sharing a bond over trauma or something like that.
Yeah.
It's basically like bonded people.
Yeah.
Sounds sexual, and boy, is this show that. I don't know, Gav, do you want to give us an overall synopsis?
Okay, so it's a little confusing, like at the start, but I guess there's this boy named Kazuhira, who's like the main character, and he like doesn't feel pain, and it starts out with him seeing like a flashback, of this like blue-haired girl who like we can tell is like Noriko, who is this girl that ends up in contact with all of them, who's kind of like a director of this like Kiznaiver like program. But anyway, like she sees Kazuhira and she like basically kidnaps him and is like, so I got you and a bunch of other of your classmates, and you're all Kiznaivers now, and we did surgery on you, so now whenever one of you gets hurt, all of you get hurt. And
Because this will lead to world peace.
Yeah, because it'll lead to world peace.
Fucking...
Because if people realize how much they're hurting each other, they'll stop trying to hurt each other. Is essentially what it was.
Yeah, so it's basically about like these trials that these classmates have to go through as Kiznaivers, and it's a Trigger Studio anime, and it was 2016.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3 years after they did
So-
Kill la Kill, they did this.
I actually remember my roommate was watching this as it was coming out that year. So I actually did see a little bit of this, particularly the ending of episode 3, because they're like, friend, please come here. You must watch this.
Gross.
Yeah.
I can just picture your roommate doing this now.
I mean, does it make sense for my roommate? Yes.
Well, considering that she was my roommate too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that we were watching it too when it was like airing,
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
watching
And,
an
like,
anime club.
Yeah.
because we were trying to mix things up and watch new like simulcasts, and this was one of them. And I actually I don't think we ever finished it in the club, but I went on to like continue to watch the rest of it myself, and I had ended up enjoying it as a whole. And so the fact that like no one else really talked about it, or at least I never saw anyone else really talk about it, I was like, oh, like, okay, that's weird, especially because it's like Trigger. And so yeah, so I was like, this is what I'm gonna do for my underrated anime.
I would definitely say it has the most under the radar / cult following out of all Trigger shows. Like, obviously Kill la Kill is what they're most known for, and then Little Witch Academia, and then obviously Promare when they made that movie. But yeah, as far as like the underground scene of their shows, yeah, I would definitely say that this is probably their most underappreciated show.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember like showing up to Anime Club every now and then, and seeing some of this with you guys. This is definitely my
Yeah.
first time watching the dub.
Same.
Yeah, me too. I had only watched because I had watched it like right as it was coming out, so I had watched the subbed, obviously. But yeah, this is my first time watching the dub. But yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on it?
I mean, I I think it's a very interesting concept for a show. The art style is pretty good. Characters are a bit goofy, although some of them are a little bit like stock characters, but that's okay. They work for what their roles are in this. You know, overall, I think it's pretty interesting, though. The opening was kind of giving me, visual novel vibes.
Oh, I
A little bit.
thought you were gonna say "Take on Me." That's what I thought of.
Yeah.
I mean,
opening
yes.
is very much that.
Yes, but also, like, I felt like I was watching, like, the intro for, like, a Japanese visual novel while we were going through it, so...
Yeah, I watched the full show a couple years ago. I was going through like a trigger thing where I was watching some of their shows I missed from their catalog, and I remembered you telling me that you liked the show, so I figured, well, he likes it, so I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. I like the characters, I like the story. It goes very interesting, towards the end. My biggest complaint with the show is, honestly, I wish there was more. I feel like this would have been better off as a 2-core rather than a 1-core show. I feel like it would have done better to get a better point across of its message and themes. Personally, I think they kind of rushed it a little bit at certain points with only being 12 episodes. But but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I felt pretty similarly about that aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is one of those times, and I feel like I've seen this in a number of, like, standalone anime kind of things, where they're like, here's what the problem with society is. We're going to, like, dumb it down to, like, one little thing, and then we're just going to be like, we've solved the problem by doing this. And I'm like, it's more complicated than that, show. I mean, I get, yes, more people need empathy in this world. But at the same time, like, oh, you really think that if everyone felt everyone else's pain, that no one would do anything bad to one another? That is a bold statement that you cannot back up at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know how the rest of this show goes, but I'm imagining by the end, they're like, oh, all this torture that we put you through was all for a greater purpose, and the world is saved now. And I'm going to be like, I call bullshit on that. But, again, yeah, and like Envy said, maybe you could explore the philosophy of it a little bit more if you had maybe 24 episodes instead of 12. Again, I don't know how deep they're going to get into this with 12 episodes. I think I've seen a few more episodes than this.
Yeah.
Like, they basically spend a lot of their time going over what makes each of the characters unique, in quotation marks.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Because they each have, like, I don't want to say a 7 deadly sin, but they kind of have a trait in their names that kind of reflects the personalities that they are.
Yeah.
And they do spend some time, going over what makes each of them tick in some ways, and they kind of go into the main character's, mindset a little bit more with the blue-haired girl. But yeah, I just felt like at times it could have been fleshed out a little bit more. Like, even with just 3 more episodes, I don't know, I feel like sometimes when you're limited to a 1-core and you're only greenlit for 1-core, you got to try and condense as much as you can, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it does.
I feel like animes like this sometimes would have benefited from coming out, like, a lot earlier, like, say, maybe in the 90s or something, like, before they started doing, like, cores, more like, or, like, slots of 12, because, I mean, a lot of them were anywhere from, like,
They usually
could
buy
be 12.
like a whole chunk of episodes, like somewhere like around like 52 episodes in advance. And you could be like, all right, we have all the time that we need to flesh out whatever we got to do.
Well, then there's also shows that, like, have a weird, like, odd number of episodes. Like, Utena has 39, and it got everything that it wanted to do.
Death Note's like that, too.
Yeah.
That is kind of weird. Well, I mean, I guess if you broke it down, that's kind of like 3 cores today.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
I think we're just used to even numbers.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
that's true.
I was a little, like, when they were explaining, like, the 7 deadly sins, I'm like, yes, I'm familiar. That's been used in many, many media over the years. Well, I think the modern sins are these. And it's like these really mundane,
Random.
not random
Yeah.
necessarily. They're all kind of like annoying in a sense.
They're all like character stereotypes.
Yeah, and to a large degree, most of them are pretty benign. Like, okay, so you're just annoyed by stuck-up people. I get that. Is that necessarily like, hey, you deserve to be tortured for this? I'm like, that's, I think you're going a little extreme with this. I don't like Noriko. I think she's a bitch. I hate her. And, like, maybe she gets better throughout the rest of the series. But, like, right now, I'm like, you're the fucking problem here.
I had to be honest. It kind of would have made more sense if they had grabbed criminals who lack empathy at all.
All right.
And
I see
like,
yeah.
like people who have killed people or something. And then
What are
when,
we,
like,
some kind of Suicide Squad?
yeah, kind of like the Suicide Squad, I guess. I don't know. Like, that would have made more sense from an experimental point of view. I don't know if it would have made it a more interesting show, but I think experimentally it would have made more sense because they lack empathy more. I think
that becomes a little bit like that last season of The Good Place, where they were trying to rerun the experiment.
Yeah, it's kind of like what happened with The Good Place.
I'd be down to watch that. I think that'd be a lot more... Well, I'm not saying this isn't interesting.
I think this is interesting as is. I just think realistically, as an experiment, taking people with, like, really little empathy would have made more sense.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this works... If we're talking purely as an experiment, this could work as a baseline, because these people are, outside of being tropes, they're normal people, for the most part. They're a little oddballs here and there, but, they're not, like, detriments to society.
But are they people where, like, the, like, world peace hinges on them? I don't know. Like, maybe take sociopaths or politicians or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, like, general, real
like
assholes.
Yeah.
Like Noriko.
Like
Maybe put Noriko
but, like,
in this
more
thing.
of her.
Because I don't know that she has any empathy whatsoever.
She's kind of like a robot.
She doesn't.
Yeah, she's...
That's the big thing with her. She has to... Like, I forget the main character's name, but he can't feel pain.
I'm going to call him Basic.
Well,
we're going to go with the most dumbed down versions of whatever their sins are. We got Basic, Stuck Up, Sleazy, Toxic Masculinity, Weirdo, Fetishist, and what's the girl next door? Nosy? I don't know. Fucking...
Jealous.
This whole thing just seems like Noriko's just kink-shaming everybody. The whole time.
I mean, the big thing about is that the main character, he feels no pain, whereas the Noriko, she has no empathy. She can't feel. Like, she pretty much says later on she has no emotions. Like,
so she should be part of the experiment.
Yeah. But no, we need a robot to run the experiment, I guess. Fucking hell. She's not even a fun robot like Janet. Oh, she's not a robot, though. Also not a girl. Never mind.
True.
They go into, like, more, like, by the end, kind of like the whole deal with Noriko.
Yeah.
I think what bothers me most is, like, just the attitude of superiority she has. Did you guys ever watch A Wind Called Amnesia? Or A Wind Named Amnesia? Something like that.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah,
to me.
it was I forget if it came out in the 80s or the
right?
90s, but it was one of those 80s, 90s movies that was like, here's what the problem with society is, and we fixed it and changed the thing and blah, blah. Essentially what happened in the movie, it's 1999, the distant future, and it's a Mad Max apocalypse wasteland because a wind came through the world and everyone forgot everything. Like, everything. Can't even speak, half of them. And apparently what happened, it's like, there's like this girl, Sophia, and there's a dude who I guess doesn't have as much memory loss or whatever, and they're driving around the country. And she's waxing... like navel-gazy philosophical hootenanny the whole time, and you get this sense like the whole time the guy driving her around, he's just like listening, like like, God, I hope I get laid soon. I really am sick of hearing this woman talk. But it's like, apparently she's part of an alien race that looked at humanity and they were like, oh, they have like, they're developing nuclear weapons and are going to do space travel, but we control all of space, so we're going to wipe all their memories before they destroy the universe. I'm like, who the fuck are you to decide all this? Who the fuck are you? And Noriko really gives me those vibes of like, I know better than you, and I'm going to fix every problem that you have, regardless of what you want. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I know I'm like getting a little, like,
you're getting
overly passionate about this, but it's like, it's kind of like, man, fuck you. Like, what the fuck do you know?
Is she part of a larger organization, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're
Okay.
mentioning that, like, the mayor of the town is also an asshole who's definitely not gonna be involved.
Yeah, I forgot like most of like what had like happened. So when I was rewatching it like from the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, Noriko, don't really care for her at first.
I'd love to hear anyone, and again, I haven't seen the rest of the series. Maybe there's something about her gets better. Most of what you guys are saying is telling me that she doesn't get better and might get worse. So I'd really love to see anyone in the comments be like, Noriko's my favorite character because X, Y, Z.
They, without saying anything, they do psychoanalyze her just as much as the other main characters.
Okay, does that involve any sort of improvement of being a person, or is she still just a fucking bitch?
She gets better. She's not this stuck up by the end of the show.
I'll take your word for it.
And besides, smug characters in an anime,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of...
No, yeah, I know. We should talk about characters a little bit, because this is a Trigger show, and they do like to, I don't want to say recycle, but they do like certain tropes in a lot of their characters, and certain character designs. Like, immediately off the top of my head, you got Kamina from Gurren Lagann is here, and you got Mako from Kill la Kill is here.
Oh,
I feel you got a couple other people sprinkled throughout.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got specific character designs that are similar to their older stuff.
I feel
that
like
are...
Kamina might be the character design that comes up the most. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's the,
like every
Gurren
single
Lagann,
show.
Promare, this
Yeah.
one. Was there anyone in Kill la Kill like that?
Uh,
Maybe the nudist
guy?
beach guy? A little bit?
Yeah, nudist
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah, the
Speech.
lieutenant for the nudist beach, not the
Yeah.
main guy, but the younger one.
He looks similar.
That's
to
true.
that.
No, wait. The younger one looked like that other guy from Gurren Lagann. The guy with the three sisters. If I'm remembering this correctly. I'm gonna have to go back.
been a
You know what?
while.
I'll have to go back and watch Kill la Kill. Oh, what a terrible time. You know? Like, I'm down for that. Yeah, no. I don't. Who's your guys' favorite? It's a whole collection of stuff here.
I like.
I mean, my view... Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
I was going to say, my viewpoint's a little different since I've seen the whole show, but I'd say probably... oh gosh, I'm blanking on the names.
Give me their mortal sin. Or mortal annoyance, or whatever we're gonna call it.
The guy with the yellow shirt and the mohawk they always use.
Oh, me too. That's
Toxic
my favorite
masculinity.
character.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
His name
Hodge-
is Tenga.
Tenga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Hajime
fun.
Tenga.
He's fun,
I
up
love
until he
him.
talks about,
Violating someone?
Yeah.
I hope that was just a bad dub translation.
What
That
happened?
was that.
No.
that took
That
a
is in the
turn.
sub. That is in the
It's in the
sub.
sub.
It's in the sub.
Wow. Like, you really could have said, like, anything else, man. That was bad.
Just no.
Bad choice of words.
Very. Like, you could have, like, I think we would have accepted just about anything else.
Like punch her or something.
I see her again, I'm gonna punch her in the face. I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that. Go for it. I see her again, I'm gonna violate her. Oh,
No.
hold the fuck up, buddy. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
Chocomonte.
that's a fucking lot, man.
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah, I
okay
know
to
he-
like
I
this
know-
guy?
That's what made me question him.
I know that's not what he meant.
Okay.
What did he mean?
Yeah, what did he mean?
He meant
Defend
he
this.
was gonna like punch her.
Okay. There are a number of different ways you can say punch someone, and none of them involve the word violation.
Did he mean pound
I-
her?
I'm a pound her. I'm a punch her. I'm a sock her in the jaw. There's a number
Yeah.
of different things you could say. And that would especially
like-
work because I was looking at that scene. There's not lip flaps. He's like grinding his teeth. He's just... You could have fit anything in there, but you went with violate. And that's like...
I know. I'm just saying he like
squiggy,
obviously
hate it.
hates her. Like, he obviously hates her and does not want to, like, do sexual things to her. So, like,
hope.
context,
See,
he
like-
means, like, violate, like, he means be violent, and I think they just...
Okay, you could have said that. Like,
Yeah,
you say violate, and there's, like, it's a very narrow sort of
I think
imagery with that.
The English ADR department kind of fucked up on that
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, I think
Literally
sometimes
throwing anything else.
the dub's a little weird. There were some other lines that were really awkward throughout.
I think that happens. I think, like, there's just some dubs nowadays that are, like, we're not going to try to, like, localize as much. We're not going to try to, like, redo things to maybe fit a little more to the language, and they're just like, let's just do direct translation.
Yeah,
And
so I think whatever the word was,
Yeah.
they probably just translated it weirdly.
I think part of
don't
that just comes from there's like a much faster turnaround now with simulcasts and a whole bunch of other things. Like, they have to get dubs out way faster, so it's not as much time to like add maybe a little bit more nuance for the English language elements of it. And so they're like directly translate it, even if the phrase doesn't quite work in English.
It's like when Chidori was like, let's talk about the future or something. It sounded weird.
That's how you
whatever
start
she
a conversation?
Yeah.
said. It was just such an awkward phrasing.
Hey,
I
can we
mean-
talk about our
Can we
plans
talk
for today?
about the future?
Hey, can we talk about some stuff real quick? Like, there's 100 different ways you could say this and not make it sound weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the same can be said for manga.
Yeah.
I was actually like going through the, Tokyo Mew Mew volumes back when I was rereading them, and the phrasing was actually like kind of strange in some spots, because it's like Kodansha was doing like a reprint.
Mhm.
And like I feel like they were trying to like get the omnibus volumes together for releases. So I feel like they were just trying to do like the most basic translations in some spots.
Yeah.
Or they couldn't figure out how to, make it sound like actual teenagers were speaking. I even just find that even with like some of the Yen press volumes, like I find a lot of fan translated manga that you can find online is actually a lot better translated, or at least it like reads better as like dialogue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think part of that, like when you have fan translations and that, there's not like a deadline of any kind, really. Because I think people will just take it whenever they can take it. So it's like,
Sometimes people get mad, and there are
No, I know, yeah. Like, there is something to be said about being, like, a very faithful translation or adaptation or something, but, like, some things just don't sound right in a different
Yeah.
language when you directly There's a reason people don't use Google Translate to fully communicate with another person that is speaking a different language. You can try.
Okay, there are
But-
some web novels that are machine translated, and it's very bad.
Yeah, no. Oh,
Sometimes they'll edit it and clean it up, and it's okay, but when it's
Yeah.
just the machine, it's almost unreadable.
do you have anything, like, off the top of your head that's, like, the worst you've read?
Oh my god.
I feel like there's a really funny one. It should stick out, right?
I'd have to think about it, but I've definitely read ones that had bad machine translations. But fan translators are usually pretty good.
Yeah, because I think you can take a little bit more time. You can maybe, like, try to have a little bit more nuance. You might be like, why doesn't this sound right? Like, if you say it out loud, you should be like, this should sound right. And I don't think anyone said a couple of these lines out loud before they were in the booth. And it's like, oh. Because, like, there's plenty of times that you could look at something on paper and be like, oh, that sounds right. And then you say it with your mouth and you're like, that's not right. That's not right at all.
Yeah, there was something else Chidori said towards the beginning that was like, do you have some darkness in your heart or something when she was talking to that one guy?
And that's absolutely something I would see as a sub. And I wouldn't question it at all, because it's probably, like, a more condensed wording
Maybe.
or something
They
in
needed
Japanese.
to adjust it for the dub, though.
Yeah, it's like you got like some like repressed stuff going on. Like, I don't know. Again, there's a number of different ways you could say it.
Something more casual than that.
This is a very like, and in spots it's good. In a lot of spots it's good. It
like the
works.
dub, I like the voice actors and everything. I think everyone
Yeah.
fit for their roles, and some of the lines made sense, but it was like some of them were just awkward,
Yeah, I
where
feel
it's
like-
I don't know.
I feel like it's like 85% of it is fine.
Yeah.
But like it's that 15% that really sticks out when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going on for this for a while.
We're talking
Either
about
way,
favorite
characters.
Yeah. Up until the fucking rape line. It was pretty on with Tenga. Yeah, everyone else is kind of... I feel like he's probably the... Like, from the beginning, other than him and other than Chidori, he's the person who, like, has the most personality out the gate. Maybe Nico, but that's...
I like her.
I like her in small doses.
She's cute.
It's like the Mako thing. It's like, okay, you're fun for a few minutes, but I don't want to spend all my time with you.
But I think at least she has, like, you can tell there's something else with her personality where she's not really that way, but she wants to present herself that way.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And
which I think could be an interesting conflict.
If they go into it more, yeah, I think that would be, like, I feel like
like somebody who wants to be interesting, you know? So
Yeah.
maybe she doesn't always find herself interesting as she is.
I think at least with the second episode where they were all telling their, like, secrets and stuff to everybody, like, there's clearly enough here that, like, you can peel back the layers of these characters, which is good if you're gonna, like, make this presumably mostly a character-driven show. Again, like we were saying earlier, might help a little more if we have even more time to flesh that out. Again, I don't know, haven't seen the rest of it, but 12 episodes, 7 characters, plus Noriko and whoever else is going to show up to be part of the asshole organization doing this. I feel like we're not going to have as much time as maybe some of these characters deserve for getting going in depth.
Which is maybe why I should have had more than one core, but you know, I like them all in general right now. Some of them, like, annoy me occasionally, like Chidori, but I liked the colorful girl. What was her name again?
Nico?
I like Nico.
She talks about herself in the third person,
but...
and that's why she's the only one I know her name, other than Noriko, which I hate.
Yeah, I liked her, and I liked the white-haired guy.
Basic.
I liked Basic.
Milk toast.
I'm kind of interested in what he's got going on and, like, why he changed, because Chidori was talking about he changed at some point, and I'm interested in, like, what he went through, and I like him overall.
Can I make a prediction? Based on the cold open, which had him as a kid and Noriko, and she had a scar on her neck, I'm assuming this is the second or third Kiznaiver experiment. And likely Noriko was in the first one, possibly with what's his face, whose hair reminds me of pudding. I had to get pudding today because he reminds me of, like, the swirl kind of thing you get, like the chocolate vanilla swirl thing. Good times.
I was watching it, like, and my mom walked in. And she was like, "What's up with his hair?" And then I was like, "Which one?" She was like, "It's
an anime. You have to ask which one."
Yeah. She was like, "The one with the white hair, is that brown underneath too?" And then she goes, "But I guess the other guy's hair is pretty weird too." Talking about Tenga, but yeah.
Is that a pompadour? What is
something like it? A tiny pompadour.
It's like a side shave, like, he
has hair on the side of his head, I thought.
I don't remember.
It's mostly just like a forward rooster thing?
Yeah, rooster. Yeah, it reminds me of a rooster.
Who was your favorite character, Chibi?
Me?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna be really honest, I don't really have one.
That's fair.
Mostly because, like, Kazuhira,
Which one's that?
Interesting main character.
He has a name.
He's interesting, but, like, you know, I feel like I need more of him fleshed out a little bit. Noriko, I mean, she's interesting in, like, an antagonistic way. Chidori's fine. Like, she's the only one that kind of even has, like, a lot of sense. Granted, some of them have a good amount of sense, but it's just, like, she's the most vocal one about it. Tenga, go dump him in a dumpster or something. Ugh.
Not for everybody.
And then Snob and Blue Hair Boy, no thoughts. And then Nico is fine. in small doses. I feel like if Nico was someone I actually knew, I'd probably be like, okay, I've spent my hour with you. I need alone time.
It's fair.
And then
Hisomu.
Oh, that's the sound he makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot. I'm just gonna say this right now. He's a lot.
Oh no, trust me. From his episode, I can tell he's a lot.
He's a stone cold freak. That's all I gotta say.
I know. Like, I already knew that before even watching the show. Again, because I saw the clip from the end of episode 3, which is literally just Kazuhira getting hit by that truck, and then Hisomu, and he's on the ground and they flip him over, and that.
He came.
And I'm just.
He came hard.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he's a masochist to the extreme.
Oh, for sure.
Great thing to have on the team when you share pain.
At least someone's enjoying it.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with the characters. I feel like for anyone that I would like, it might just be basic, because I don't know. The rest of them are either kind of annoying or I have no thoughts.
I think basic might be too basic of a thing to call him. I'm going to call him Vanilla Fudge Swirl.
That's better.
Yeah.
I don't think he's basic. He's just...
No thoughts, head empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
He's just no emotions.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Noriko is no emotions. I think he just is very understimulated.
Didn't
Is
he
his
say he
problem.
doesn't like feel anything anymore?
He doesn't feel pain. I don't think that doesn't mean he doesn't feel anything, but I think he just... I'm assuming...
But didn't he feel happy only for that 1 second when Chidori was like confessing to him or whatever, and he said he hasn't felt happy?
That's still a feeling. My bets are, again, we have something to do with whatever this first Kiznaiver experiment. Maybe it was about killing everyone's emotions inside. That way
I
no
feel
one would
like
do anything.
he and Noriko are very similar.
Yeah. I don't think he got hit as hard as Noriko.
Right, but he's still, obviously, his emotions are pretty flat right now, you know?
I think he might have, like, had, issues of, like, maybe overstimulation or something, and now it's, like, life is just life with the volume turned down, essentially, for him.
You'll see.
Will we?
If you watch it, I mean. But I think the best episode is, like, because I was watching it, and my favorite episode's episode 5, which is they go to a training camp and have to do a test of courage.
Was that, like, where they were in the woods or something?
That sounds about right.
I do remember that episode. It was pretty good.
I thought that one was fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama.
Right. I feel like I definitely liked this series a lot when I saw the first half a few years ago. So I would definitely want to watch the rest. I just never finished it for whatever reason. I think I was just busy, but I would watch the rest now.
I feel like I'm watching, like, 15 shows right now, so I'm going to have to, like...
Yeah.
Try to figure out what I'm going to do.
Just cue that James Franco meme first time you say that to me.
How many shows are you watching, Envy? 20.
For this current anime season?
Yeah.
For as fast as you go, I'm assuming you just, like, watch one to completion in, like, 2 days, and then you just move on to another.
I mean, it depends if I'm binging, but, like, as far as the seasonal stuff, probably gonna be around 10-ish, I want to say.
There's a couple of them just deep into that I just gotta finish.
Yeah.
I think. And you and me just started watching that slime thing again.
Yeah, we're on season 2 now. I'm excited.
Yeah. They finally dropped the kids!
Yeah, the kids are gone. At least
Please
they think
tell me they're
they
not coming back.
I don't know. I love the slime, though. Anyway,
that's for a different day, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Anything else to say about Kiznaiver?
You
I
know
remember
how
we
to
were-
say it.
It's
You
not
know how
real-
to say it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there because I feel like we've been watching a bunch of shows nowadays that just seem to want to make up
Yeah.
words and try to make them a thing, and I'm just like, I'm feeling like Regina George and Mean Girls. It's like, stop trying to make that a thing. It's not gonna
Are
be a
you
thing.
thinking of baconeering?
Yes, I'm thinking of baking. Okay, have you guys ever seen on Netflix? There's a thing called Baking Impossible. Good ass show. Great ass show, even. It combines baking challenges with engineering challenges of all things, and it's like, it's really interesting. Let's make a boat out of cake and make it float down a river. Okay, how the fuck are you gonna do that? Fascinating. But then they have to have like the creator of the show be like, we're combining bacon and engineering, and we're gonna call it baconeering. I'm like, that you should have put past the test group. That is a terrible word, and I hate it. Stop trying to make it a thing if you want a season 2.
I mean, it's not the dumbest word I've ever seen for a title.
I've heard of dumber, but at the same time, it's like the dumber ones are almost more fun, at least.
I think it's the fact that they kept saying it over and over.
It's like you're clearly trying to make it a thing,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna be a thing.
But I mean, at least with Kiznaiver, it's like, I don't know. It's the title of the anime. They had to infuse it into the show somehow.
Yeah, I guess there's meaning behind it.
It's not as bad as baconeering.
It's not, but it's still like, I don't know. How
I
about
remember
them
when-
mascots from Paranoia Agent?
I love those. They're cute. Remember when you were gonna make an abridged series about this?
Not really.
Oh man, I do
You-
remember that.
I said
Yeah.
that about 40
you
different
say it about
shows.
everything, yeah.
And like, yeah, don't give people in the comments reasons to be pissed off at me.
That's fair.
I don't know. What would you even do with it?
You had some ideas once upon a time.
Did I?
You did,
I'll
yeah.
have
But
to look at the Google Doc.
it was like Tokyo Mew Mew, where you were thinking about it for a little bit.
Well, that one's an easier kind of like, it's superheroes, and I like superheroes and stuff. I mean, you just like, here's the thing. I don't know that Tokyo Mew Mew needs an abridged series, because if you
It
watch the
already
dub,
has
it's
the dub.
hilarious. You don't need
Yeah.
to abridge a comedy. It's already funny. Like, I'm never going to try to abridge Psyche K. No need.
No.
It's perfect as is, especially with the dub. Dub's great. The only thing that I would want to do, if I was going to do anything with Tokyo Mew Mew, is redub the second half of the season, but do it exactly how I think 4Kids would do it. Because that's great, and that's
Ooh.
hilarious. No, don't ooh me.
Good.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm not saying ooh wasn't a bad thing. That's saying ooh
Oh, you're saying
as in I
ooh,
would
like,
like to
ooh?
watch it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Like, we need a couple of those lines, like the beach episode. All right, step 1, remain calm. Everybody run for your lives! I tell you, there were some dubbing companies back in the day. They were a treasure, and we are missing out today.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that later in the year. I don't know. All right. Anyone have anything else to bring up about Kiznaiver or whatever else?
Next week.
Next
well,
week.
I mean, wait, but before we do, I do want to state a couple things.
Sure.
I'd be remiss, even though I never grew up watching this show or playing the game. I know you did, but I did see a lot of people mourn the death of the late Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, because he passed away
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
week. So
Yeah.
I know we did our whole anime yay or nay on it, and I remember I never played it, but I do remember the card game being popular as hell. It's still popular, but like I remember when I was
Yeah.
growing up, kids would play it all the time in school, and then obviously the anime was like a gateway for a lot of people growing up. So I saw so many people on Twitter and Instagram like posting their either their favorite dub clips or their favorite cards they have on their decks as tribute.
I'm gonna tell you this. I still have a lot of my cards. If you want to play sometime, I will show you. Full disclosure, I don't know how to play the game. I don't think anyone ever really learned, because most people try to learn from I feel like I've said this before. You can't learn from watching the anime. It's a complete
No.
free-for-all. But you know what? That's what made it fun.
And I also
Oh.
want to say, he died last month, but voice actor Billy Kametz, he passed away in
Yeah.
June. He was best known for Josuke from Diamond is Unbreakable, the main character from Promare, and Naofumi from Rising of the Shield Hero, as well as my favorite role of his, Maruki from Persona 5 Royal. So, cancer's a bitch, and he passed away from stage 4, I think, colon cancer. So it's a damn shame.
That is tragic.
Yeah.
If we're going on this train, James Caan also died pretty recently, and I've been a big fan of his work for a long time. I mean, he's Sonny from The Godfather, and he's the dad from Elf. I mean, that's everybody's.
Yeah.
That's a generational span right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna maybe add a happier note to the end of this. But
Please.
the Tokyo Mew reboot just came out this past week.
Is 4Kids coming back to dub it?
Nope.
Okay, well that's not that happy for me.
I mean, hey, it's happy news for me because I am reliving my 11-year-old self right now.
I'm gonna tell you what, we're gonna watch the whole show, and then you, me, and anyone else who wants to get involved, we're gonna redub the show like 4Kids would do it right. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. Probably gonna be a good show, but it's gonna be a bad dub if we do it.
I mean, I do. It's definitely they're taking it in a different direction. Right off the bat from episode 1.
Did they kill Mark like Monkey always wanted?
No, but Mint is a first person on the team now.
That's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah. So she was there, and then she kind of got Ichigo, going. But yeah, no, it seems interesting. The opening and ending are really cute. And,
tell you what. Save your thoughts. We'll do a full thing on it in a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of weeks, next week, Kozi and Cece weren't here today, unfortunately, but next week we're doing Cece's underrated gem anime called AYoN. Now, no one else, as far as I'm aware, has seen this on the team right now, but apparently it's a cheerleading anime, so I don't know what to say about it. There you go. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a little thing up that people can see and be like, oh, so that's what that is. I don't know anything about this show. I don't know that any of us are gonna, but we'll find out. Maybe it'll be fun. Who knows? Cheerleading. Come back next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!